One of the most common reactions by those new to the resource-based economy concept is to assert that without the monetary system, people will lack the necessary incentive that drives people to persevere in our current socioeconomic model. I want to examine the relevant evidence about what truly motivates human beings. Do this, and you'll get that. These 6 words summarize our society's doctrine for raising children, teaching students, and managing workers. The monetary system has engraved this idea into society so deeply that an inordinate portion of the population believes that the monetary incentive is an effective mechanism. Many claim that if there's no money, humans will just lie around and be lazy. This is just sad. First of all, the most powerful contributions to society came from those who were truly interested in social progress, not detached monetary gain, such as Einstein, Galileo, Newton, the Wright brothers, and Tesla. As stated by sociologist Philip Slater, the idea that everyone wants money is propaganda circulated by wealth addicts to make themselves feel better about their addiction. In the mid-1990s, a Gallup poll was conducted which found that over 50% of American adults volunteered time for social causes, at an average of about 4.2 hours per week for 20.5 billion hours per year. So even with the crippling effect of the monetary system, human beings still strive to help one another. The logical deduction from this finding is that a social system that inherently supports and reinforces acts of reciprocation would drastically increase these statistics. In a resource-based economy, everyone is raised to his or her highest potential in order to become a contributor, greatly enhancing our social evolution and raising everyone's standard of living, thus changing the incentive mechanism. Such an environment would allow intrinsic motivation, liking what you do, to flourish. The use of rewards, whether it is money, grades, excessive praise, or other bribes to control people's behavior, is a practice that is widely accepted and exercised, but rarely challenged. Extrinsic motivators, controlling sources that come from outside the individual, are the preferred way to manipulate people in the classroom, at home when raising children, in the workplace, and in society at large as the dominant work ethic. Similar to the use of punishment and threat, which I'll discuss after, to elicit mindless obedience, offering rewards may provoke temporary compliance. However, the long-term effectiveness of extrinsic motivation does not hold up under close scrutiny. To better understand the effectiveness or lack thereof of rewards, we must first pose a few preliminary questions. First, for whom or what are rewards effective? It is easy to see the attractiveness of rewards and punishment, as it requires very little effort for the person, group, or institution seeking a particular behavior. Such a disposition ignores the understanding that the environment that affects the motivation. It opts for an approach that precludes working with people, while instead focuses on doing things to people. And second, for how long are rewards effective? For what are rewards effective? As sociologist Alfie Kohn explains in another article entitled The Risk of Rewards, studies over many years have found that behavior modification programs are rarely successful at producing lasting changes in attitudes or behavior. When the rewards stop, people usually return to the way they acted before the program began. He further elaborates, indeed, extrinsic motivators do not alter the emotional or cognitive commitments that underlie behavior, at least not in a desirable direction. A child promised a treat for learning or acting responsibly has been given every reason to stop doing so, since there is no longer a reward to be gained. It is simple to understand why. Rewarding shifts people's focus from the behavior to the reward itself. It is result-oriented rather than process-oriented, a recipe that ensures disinterest, lower creativity, and suboptimal efficiency. So, do rewards motivate people? Certainly, they motivate people to obtain the reward. However, this extrinsic motivation usually comes at the price of deteriorating interest and excellence at whatever is being done. Here are a few more central reasons why rewards ultimately fail, and then I'll wrap up. The first is that rewards punish. The underlying assumptions about conventional parenting, teaching, and workplace management are that there are two dispositions: positive reinforcement via rewards and punitive responses. However, the research clearly demonstrates that rewards and punishments are not opposites. As Kohn denotes, there are two sides of the same coin, and it is a coin that does not buy very much. 2, Rewards destroy relationships. Rewards connote by their very definition the disruption of cooperative learning, and they are most destructive when made artificially scarce. When only a few children in a class are awarded gold stars, everyone's turned into a competitor, an obstacle to others' success. The same logic can be applied to classes where students are graded on a bell curve. Similarly, when collective rewards are offered, a person or group is much more likely to be blamed as the person responsible for the failure to obtain that reward in question, thus rupturing relationships. Distrust and stress tend to flourish in such a system. And 3, rewards ignore reasons. A child is misbehaving, a worker is performing poor quality work, a student is unmotivated to learn. These are many of the situations in which we're inclined to offer rewards in order to attempt to correct what is going wrong. The problem is that the rewards do nothing to actually address the true underlying causes about why the trouble has occurred in the first place. It is simple to recognize why this approach is used, though. It requires little effort on behalf of the intervener. And the exact same line of reasoning, in fact, can be applied to punishment. The implications of all this research is, again, that our schools, our workplaces, and in fact our entire economic system are predicated on a motivational structure that is backward. It is a structure that is ineffective at best and socially crippling at worst. And it is a structure that cannot disconnect from the monetary system. Instead, it necessitates the monetary incentives removal, and is simply another reason for why the monetary system must be removed holistically. To rely on outdated, scientifically untenable methods for motivating people can only produce deleterious results in the long run, and as such is again an unsustainable value.